Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk about Wreck today from 2007. Now, I've recently watched it again for this review, but shamelessly or shamefully, I only saw this movie back in 2008 after I came out the cinema from seeing Quarantine, the American remake. I watched the American remake and I thought it was really good, but I just felt like there was something missing from it. So when I came home that night, I stuck on record and I absolutely loved it. It blew me away. And I think it included everything that was missing from Quarantine, or at least everything that I wanted to get out of Quarantine. So I only seen it once back in 2008 and I watched it again for this review. And again, it completely blew me away. It's a 70 minutes or so without the credits, and it rammed everything in there within those 70 minutes or so, and it was absolutely amazing, non-stop from start to finish. The story follows Angela and Pablo, two TV crew filmmakers, and they go to their local fire station to film them and document them, and hopefully something happens throughout the night. But at the beginning of the film, they notice that nothing's really happening until something does. But when something does happen, Alex and Manu, who are the two firefighters that they're following, they go to this apartment building. They expect nothing to happen because it was just about a crazy woman screaming upstairs. But when they get there, they soon realise that something more sinister is happening. At first they think maybe it's just a woman that's going a little bit crazy, but quickly the whole building is sealed off by the health agency in Spain and nobody knows what's happening. And because of the film's tight runtime, we quickly understand that there's a virus in the building that's quickly taken over the residents. Alex, Manu, Pablo and Angela have to try and escape and find a way out. However, that doesn't happen and they all start getting picked off one by one. There's a lot of shaky cam moments in the film, but I think it was necessary in this one. I know that a lot of people don't like the Blair Witch Project because of the shaky cam movements, and I can understand why, but in Record, it seems more realistic because everyone seems like a genuine person, and in fact most of the actors in this film were genuinely just normal people. There was only a select few actors in the movie, and believe it or not, the person that plays Angela was an actual TV reporter at the time in Spain, so she was just basically doing her job, albeit she probably is not a TV reporter anymore, but she was back in the day. So if you feel like everyone was genuine, it's because most of them actually were. I also like how we pieced together how the virus began. There isn't a 100% reason for it happening or how it actually happened at this moment in time. I know there's sequels, but at this point, we genuinely don't know. We're just guessing. But we find out there's something or someone living up in the penthouse and nobody's been in there for years. So when Angela and Pablo escape to the penthouse because the rest of the building's overrun, they find out that there was this religious family that thought that their child, I believe, was possessed by a demon or a ghost or the devil or whatever. They were just religious nuts. So that actually wasn't happening. What actually happened was this girl was infected by something, and they believed that there was a cure for it. But in trying to get a cure, they created this infection that spread, but they contained that spread, they contained the infection by closing it off. But then we find out during the movie that there's this little girl called Jennifer. She had a dog called Max. It's possible that Max was up there snooping and touching stuff with his nose, and he went back downstairs and touched Jennifer. And then that's created this whole virus in the building. And the way that the health organisation found out is because Max was taken to the vet by the dad, and they found out that there was some sort of contagious thing within the dog because it started attacking everyone. And because of his collar, the chip in his collar, it traced them back to the building, and quickly the building was shut off. So we find all this information out within 70 minutes movie, whereas there's a lot of films out there that are 2.5 hours long that we don't find anything out. So this movie is very smart, very ahead of its time. It crammed everything in, like I said, it crammed it all in within 70 minutes and gave us a thrill ride of a horror film. It made a found footage movie not only very scary, but very realistic. I was recently in Barcelona and I never even thought about the connection between Wreck and Barcelona, and I was literally at the building that they shot the movie. I wish I remembered watching the film so that I could go and maybe try and get inside of it, but I wish I was there because the building is actually beautiful. One thing I really love about this film is they shot on location. They also shot chronologically in order as well. And a lot of the actors didn't even know what the lines were up until the day they were shooting some of the scenes. That's how accurate this film was. So in the building, there's no sets built for this film purposely. Everything was shot on location. So when you see them get into the building, it's an actual building. And so there was a lot of things that were in the way that they just couldn't get out of the way of. Even when they went to the penthouse, they shot that scene in pitch black, only with the night vision. So the actors, Pablo and Angela, when they were in there, they literally couldn't see anything in real life, so their fear was probably real. There was a scene as well that, I don't know if I believe this, but the scene where the firefighter fell from the second or third floor, the reactions from the people around were genuine because they didn't know that was happening on the day of the shooting. It would be good to believe that. However, with that person falling, and if nobody knew about that, I would genuinely think that that was a real person falling there, and I would go and see if they were okay. But in that scene, it didn't seem that way. So as much as I wanted to believe that, I don't think that's true. But everything else is actually really true. I think with the quality of this film, it also gives Quarantine, the 2008 remake, a really bad name. And I don't think the Quarantine remake, the remake of Wreck, is a bad film. I think it's actually okay. There's something that I noticed in Wreck that I found pretty interesting, that the actress, Jennifer Carpenter, that plays the reporter in the remake, is also the actress that plays Emily Rose in The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And if you remember, at the end of Record, there's a Portuguese girl that's possessed, well, supposedly possessed at the end of the film. And it's funny because Jennifer Carpenter goes on to play Annalise Michel, aka Emily Rose, who was a girl that was in Portugal that was apparently possessed by a demon. I found that pretty interesting. That's something that nobody's mentioned online, but I thought of that myself. Well done, me. At the end of the day, guys, I think Wreck is probably one of the best found footage movies out there. I think it also helps that it's Spanish, so I had to read everything that the actors were saying so that I maybe get to know more about the actors themselves. There's some films that I watch that don't have subtitles, and I kind of miss some things, not intentionally, but I miss things because I'm zoning out. Whereas in Record, you have to be 100% set because you have to read every word that they're saying. And it's so fast paced as well. So the words come up thick and fast. So I think because it's got subtitles, it made me enjoy it more. When I was younger, I didn't really like subtitled films. But today, I appreciate them more because I really focus on what they're saying now. So Record is definitely one of the best found footage movies. If you've seen this film, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of it as well. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back! See!